Hey guys, and welcome back to History Revision Success and our GCSE topic on America. So we've been looking at the New Deal, and if you can't remember what happened in the New Deal, go and check out the video on the New Deal. But we're going to look today at the opposition to the New Deal. So not everyone liked FDR's New Deal. Some thought it was too interfering in the lives of ordinary Americans. Remember, Republican policies were far more individualistic. Others believed it didn't help people enough. There was also a very strange case in 1935 that came before the US Supreme Court and really kind of brought these issues to a head. Now, the Chester Poultry Corporation had been found guilty of breaking NRA regulations. That was one of the schemes created in the New Deal. It had sold diseased chickens for human consumption, filed false sales claims, exploited workers, and threatened government inspectors. Not a very nice place. It had appealed to the Supreme Court, who said the government had no right to prosecute the company as the NRA was unconstitutional. It undermines the power of local states. And this really emphasizes one of the problems that FDR faced with the New Deal. Because America was run with a state system, a federal government who influenced federal decisions, but state governments who influenced local decisions, he soon faced lots of problems in that people were saying his alphabet agencies and his schemes were unconstitutional, that he did not have the right to enact things all over the country. And that was what had happened in this case. Now, I'm just going to go through some of the different groups in society who really had a problem with the New Deal and started to criticize it. So first of all, we had the rich. Now, FDR taxed the rich more to help pay for the New Deal. I think I tell you this later at some point, or maybe in the next video on effectiveness, but the highest bracket of tax had now gone to 79 cents of the dollar. So over the bracket of $5 million, 79 cents of every dollar was being paid in tax. Now, there was actually only one person eligible for this bracket of tax at this time. But, the idea that the rich were being taxed far too highly made them highly critical of the regime. Businessmen also criticized the New Deal. Wealthy business owners saw the New Deal as interfering with their business. It gave workers more rights, which they disliked. The Supreme Court. Constitution states that the president is only responsible for national affairs affecting all states. And as we've previously seen, they ruled the AAA, the Agricultural Adjustment Agency, and the NRA was illegal, ruling that they gave help to farmers, or that help to farmers was the state's responsibility rather than the federal government. Republicans also criticized the New Deal, as we might expect. Many still supported the Republican Party, who were rugged individualists. Some said that Roosevelt was behaving, like a dictator. Some even compared it to communist Russia. We also had some alternative ideas, people who were being quite vocal about having other ideas of how to fix America at the time. Huey Long was a politician from Louisiana who voiced a share our wealth scheme. This was also called alternative wealth, and it was the idea that all fortunes over 5 million would be confiscated and shared out. Every family would be given $5,000 to buy a radio, car, house, and cheap food for the poor. Francis Townsend stated that everyone should be able to retire at 60, which would create more jobs for the young. And Charles Collin argued he argued for the provision of work and fair wages. However, he lost quite a lot of support as he started to make anti-Semitic speeches. Now, other criticisms of the New Deal were that many Americans remained desperately poor. And in the next video, we'll really look at, how effective the New Deal was and some of the statistics and things behind that. Especially African-American farmers still lived in huge amounts of poverty. The New Deal was too complicated and there were too many codes and restrictions. Schemes such as the TVA had created unfair competition for private companies, and high taxes actually discouraged people from working hard, which is the ultimate antithesis of the American dream. So these are just some of the criticisms that people faced or people voiced at the time about the New Deal.